last war, when someday we can all say, yeah, we're doing fine. When the workers of the world combine. When that time arrives, maybe it looks like May Day, like a festival that comes home and doesn't go away. Every race and gender, every walk and station, with the working class united, every land and nation. Then just watch what happens when we follow the same sign. When the workers of the world combine. On the 1st of May, known around the world as International Workers' Day. Woo. Thank you. A little about the world we'd like to see, and here's a little about the world we have. Above her head, what were the last words that she said before she joined the thousands dead as the bombs rained down? See the fire in the sky, hear all of the children cry. The tower falls from way on high as the bombs rain down. See the dust rise everywhere. Once it was a building there, then it crashed down from the air as the bombs rained down. Twisted bodies all around, a never-ending buzzing sound, the earthquake shaking all the ground as the bombs rained down. Shattered camps of refugees, necklaces of ancient keys, smell the burning olive trees as the bombs rained down. See the homes, apartment blocks, see the mosques reduced to rocks, feel the awe and feel the shock as the bombs rain down. See the sewage in the street, mixed with blood beneath your feet, before the sonic boom repeats as the bombs rain down. See the darkness of the night, no power for the lights, but the explosions are so bright as the bombs rain down. Nothing left but rubble strewn, nothing rising but the moon, but the next one's coming soon as the bombs rain down. Hear the politicians say there's nothing here to see today. We're punishing Hamas this way as the bombs rain down. Hear the drones above your head, what were the last words that she said before she joined the thousands dead as the bombs rain down. Well, what we need is a big, united, international movement of solidarity, and it seems to be what's developing in some places. And what we don't need is holier-than-thou leftists telling other people to shut up. I wrote this song before Twitter existed. It seems impossible. But apparently, annoying people existed before the internet. I don't drive a car because they run on gas, but if I did run on biomass. I ride a bike, or sometimes a skateboard, so fuck off all you drivers and your yuppie hordes, sitting all day in the traffic queues. I'm a better anarchist than you. I don't eat meat, I just live on moldy chives or the donuts that I found in last week's dumpster dives. Look, you people in that restaurant, I think you are so sad when you could have been eating bagels like the ones that I just had. I think it is a shame all the bourgeois things you do. I'm a better anarchist than you. I don't wear leather and I like my clothes in black, and I made a really cool hammock from a moldy coffee sack. I like to hop on freight trains, I think that is so cool. It's so much funner doing this than being stuck in school. I can't believe you're wearing those brand new shiny shoes. I'm a better anarchist than you. I don't have sex, and there will be no sequel, because heterosexual relationships are inherently unequal. I'll just keep on moshing to anti-flag and crass until there are no differences in gender, race, or class. All you brainwashed readers, you just haven't got a clue. I'm a better anarchist than you. I don't believe in leaders, I think consensus is the key. I don't believe in stupid notions like representative democracy. Whether or not it works, I know it is the case that only direct action can save the human race. So when I see you in your voting booth, then I know it's true. I'm a better anarchist than you. I am not a pacifist, I like throwing bricks, and when the cops have caught me and I've taken a few licks, I always feel lucky if I get a bloody nose, because I feel so militant and everybody knows. By the time the riot is all through, I'm a better anarchist than you. I'm a better anarchist than you. Yeah.
This is the Secretary General of the United Nations said that the attacks in southern Israel did not happen in a vacuum, which then means he's a terrorist, of course. I've been called a terrorist sympathizer for a long time for pointing out the obvious fact that 9/11 also did not happen in a vacuum. Life could have been different. You think I don't know? Could have been born in Paris or in the Wisconsin snow. But I'm from this desert, and here I will stand. I will meet you in the promised land. You know, I went to college to be an engineer. Thought I'd do something useful, but what good is that here? When your jet fighters bomb any buildings that stand, I will meet you in the promised land. The life of the fighter I didn't choose, but I love my people and I can follow your cues. If destroying our world is your leader's command, I will meet you in the promised land. My name is Mohammed, but I don't know if it's true. If we go any place better when our life here is through. But
but you've butchered my family. You must understand. I will meet you in the promised land. I know it's not pretty, but for all that you've done, for all the widows and orphans, for all the wars that you've won, I must teach you a lesson. Maybe you'll understand. I will meet you in the promised land. So I will get in this plane, and when it's in the air, to your symbols of power and our source of despair, I'll look through the cockpit, I will steady my hand, and I will meet you in the promised land. I will meet you in the promised land. I will meet you in the promised land. My name is John Riley. I'll have your ear only a while. I left my dear home in Ireland. It was death, starvation, or exile. When I got to America, it was my duty to go. Enter the army and slog across Texas to join in the war against Mexico. And it was there in the pueblos and hillsides that I saw the mistake I had made. Part of a conquering army with the morals of a bayonet blade. And there amidst all these poor dying Catholics, screaming children, the burning stench of it all, myself and 200 Irishmen decided to rise to the call. From Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom denied, so we formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. We formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. We marched neath the green flag of St. Patrick, emblazoned with Erin Goldbra, bright with the harp and the shamrock, and the veritad public publica. Just 50 years after Wolfe Tone, 5,000 miles away, the Yanks called us a legion of strangers, and they can talk as they may. But from Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom denied, so we formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. We formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. We fought them in 5 major battles. Churubusco was the last. Overwhelmed by the cannons from Boston, we fell after each mortar blast. Most of us died on that hillside at the service of the Mexican state. So far from our occupied homeland, we were heroes and victims of fate. From Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom denied, so we formed the St. Patrick Battalion and we fought on the Mexican side. From Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom denied, formed the St. Patrick Battalion, and we fought on the Mexican side. We formed the St. Patrick Battalion, and we fought on the Mexican side. Jacob Blake was walking to his SUV. Alton Sterling was selling DVDs. Eric Garner had just broken up a fight. Breonna Taylor was asleep in the middle of the night. Tamir Rice was playing in the park. Elijah McClain was out walking after dark. Dominique Clayton was sleeping in her bed where she was shot by a cop in the back of her head. Say their names. Say their names. Say their names. Say their names. Walter Scott was driving to a store. Betty Jones was answering her door. Philando Castile was driving home with his girlfriend. Anthony Hill was naked on the grass when he met his end. Edsel Ford was walking in his neighborhood. Michael Brown was blown away just standing where he stood. Kendra James was shot to death at a traffic stop by yet another unaccountable killer cop. Say their names. Say their names. Say their names. Say their names. Aviana Jefferson was playing a video game with her little nephew. Gunned down just the same. Oscar Grant was celebrating the new year. Handcuffed when the shots rang out that everyone could hear. Eric Reason pulled into a parking spot. Not long after that was when he was shot. George Floyd was just shopping in a store. Micah Xavier Johnson thought he was still at war. Say their names. Say their names. Say their names. Say their names. Say their names.
Well, the U.S. has been waging a war on terror around the world for a long time, and the terrorism just keeps getting worse because the U.S. is the one committing most of the acts of terrorism along with its client states. And this is a song I wrote after the so-called mastermind of terror was killed. It was a commando operation of courage and skill. Navy SEAL helicopters flew in for the kill. They had a firefight and they shot him in the head. Now the mastermind of terror, Bin Laden, is dead. For all those who love freedom, it's a glorious day in D.C. and New York. They're chanting USA. Fatherless children clutching teddy bears, legless veterans with catheters and wheelchairs, and all rejoice that the deed is done and the war on terror has been won. Now orphans of Afghanistan can look at the skies. They can fill the air with joyful cries as the call to prayer rings from shattered domes. They can all run out from the rubble of their homes. Now they know their parents didn't die in vain when they heard the roar of a jet plane. Now the whole village except the 115 who died that morning unknown and unseen can all rejoice that the deed is done and the war on terror has been won. Now folks
have a party in old Baghdad, and the people of Fallujah can all be glad now. They know there is a reason for their poisoned farms and for the babies born without heads or arms. The widows need not wonder where their husbands went. They can look forward to the future in their tents. Now all the refugees, whatever country they're in Syria, Norway, or Michigan, can all rejoice that the deed is done and the war on terror has been won. God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Well, one of the things that all the Scandinavian countries have in common is all the left-wingers complain that everything's getting worse and neoliberalism is creeping in and everything's becoming more like the United States. But as this is happening, things in the US are getting so much worse than they were like 20 years ago that the comparison even between a relatively weakened social democracy and what's the complete dystopia that's happening in the US is still like vast. It's so different. And so I say this with the caveat that I'm with apologies to all the Icelanders who are complaining about their government. You have every reason to do so if there's any Icelanders who happen to be here. But I still love the fact that for a couple of years Iceland was actually putting their bankers in prison, and I think that although I'm prison abolitionist, I think that we can make certain exceptions. And so I wrote this song to try to encourage other countries to do that with their bankers. So far, it hasn't worked. I'm still trying. Now with harmonies, maybe that's the ticket.
That is the thing.
Iceland is an island with 500,000 or so Vikings, mostly known for volcanoes, hot springs, and fishing. Known for its welfare state for being good and socialistic. Certainly not known for being corrupt or nepotistic, but in the USA and Europe, when they were deregulating banks, Iceland's politicians took bribes and joined their ranks. Soon you had a situation one would think just couldn't be. A bank whose debt was worth 10 times the country's GDP. When Wall Street imploded, sure enough it spread. Banks all over the world were floating in the red. All over the world, governments made the plan to cut spending and raise taxes on the working woman and working man. The banks were bailed out while the people had to pay. But in Iceland, people thought there must be a better way. And the earth stood still a moment. Fear was struck in every toff. When Iceland told the bankers, Iceland told the bankers, Iceland told the bankers to fuck off. They're all sing-alongs, that's the chorus. Folks were in the streets in Reykjavik and just couldn't be ignored. They said this is a debt we Icelanders can't afford. Let's guarantee deposits of all our people, yes indeed. But as for all the speculators motivated by their greed to make really dumb investments, to them Iceland said good luck. Sorry for your losses, but we don't really give a fuck. The 1% all trembled when they took away the trough. When Iceland told the bankers, Iceland told the bankers, Iceland told the bankers to fuck off. Lovely. Gordon Brown called them terrorists, said we cannot let this stand. Who do these peacenik blondes think they are in Iceland? He threatened isolation and economy in flames, but the Icelanders said sorry, but the banks can settle their own claims, though that might be harder for them now that they're under house arrest. Or else they fled the country as they were most unwelcome guests, and now Reykjavik's recovery just makes the fat cat scoff. Since Iceland told the bankers, Iceland told the bankers, Iceland told the bankers to fuck off. If you haven't heard of this example, perhaps there's a reason why the owners of the world don't want this kind of shit to fly. They say we all must pay up in this shakedown by the mob if we can't afford to pay the rent because we don't have a job. They say it's not their problem if we're forever shackled by their debt. We must save the 1% from the fate they should have met. But there is an alternative, though it makes the fat cats cough, since Iceland told the bankers, Iceland told the bankers, Iceland told the bankers to fuck off. Since Iceland told the bankers, Iceland told the bankers, Iceland told the bankers to fuck